All right, welcome back to the Facebook Launchpad course. This is Taylor the Marketer, and I'm going to show you some really cool stuff once again about Facebook ads. And today we're talking about ad creative, and that's basically the videos and the images that you use inside of your ads. So I'm just going to get right into it. Basically, when it comes down to advertising on Facebook, people kind of neglect the fact that you still need to have good creative. And notice that I said good, not great. You don't really have to be an expert at ad creative to make professional and profitable ads, but you can't be a complete dunce at it. And in this video, we're going to just basically go over my quick step methods for my ad creation that I do. And basically this helps me consistently make profitable ad creative and things like that. So there are really only two types of ad creative, and that's video and image. And although for both there are very similar processes you need to stick by to convert people on an ad. So how you go about this is really up to what you want to achieve with your ad. Like, are you trying to sell something? Are you trying to get an email? Are you trying to get people to redeem a coupon? Each of those things kind of calls for a slightly different approach. When it comes down to it, video is by far the best converter for ads. I almost exclusively use video ads, so let's get into that. Video ads need to do three things. One, they need to give a shock factor or shock people into watching. Two, they need to emotionally hook people, get people to connect on an emotional level with it. And then three, they need to convince people logically and create an understanding based on logic. Do those things in order and you'll get really good results with your Facebook ads. So let's get into what the shock factor is. I used to not understand why people would skip past my videos. I used to probably get about 10% of the video views I actually get now because I didn't have a shock factor in the beginning to grab people's attention. So what do I mean by shock factor? One example of those is my favorite, and it's called the money burn. And this is when I literally grab a $100 bill and I put a lighter underneath it and act like I'm going to set fire to the bill. You know, I'm sure you've seen that. If you're watching this course, I'm sure you've seen me do that at least once. And this basically works like magic because people honestly want to see if I'm crazy enough to do it, right? Plus, they're kind of also curious about what I'm doing it for. Two, what we're basically going to be doing is hooking people emotionally at this point. So after we've shocked them into watching, we want to hook them in emotionally. And without hooking people emotionally after shocking them, they'll basically just fall off because they begin to not care. So to make people care about what you're saying, basically it'd be best for you to use some type of fear or threat of scarcity. And I know that sounds harsh, but the reason I do this is because I'm usually teaching them how to change those things. So as long as you don't leave them in this state of, you know, implied fear or scarcity, it's all good. So make sure that you're usually hitting them with a fact or phrase of understanding. Something like this: more businesses closed in 2016 than opened. Or, just as you struggle today to find an answer, I too had that same issue, and I had a feeling that it would never end. Something like that is very powerful to say. Really quick phrase that kind of hooks people in emotionally, maybe some imagery that hooks people in emotionally, and then you follow that up with convincing logically. So after you hook them into a video, you have to provide value and information to make their lives better. So if this is a video selling something directly, you'd prove your product and what it does logically to help their situation. This is the last psychological wall everyone's mind goes through. You get them actually watching with the shock factor, you hook them in emotionally, but once that wears off, all that is left is the resistance to finding a logical reason to buy or take action. All of the objections that they have should be answered here as well. So basically, once you hook people in emotionally, the last thing that they have an issue with is that logical reason to actually take action. If you've done all the other psychological principles, you have them, you have their attention, and all you do is you prove logically either why you are the answer to their issues that you just implied with the emotional hook, or that your product is, depending on what your action is going to be. So creating videos also includes tools, and here are the tools that I use in addition to the actual content strategy I shared previously to make great looking and sounding ads. So number one, I use Quick. It's a phone app. This is basically for creating fast image slideshows, automatically synced and paired with high quality music. I used to use this a lot with e-commerce because sometimes you don't need like you on a video talking to people. Quick is a really good thing because you can put some images together and use the same psychological principles that I talked about before. All right, so the next one is image play. This is basically for creating GIFs, moving images, and multi-formatted image-based videos. I really think that you should download each of these apps that I'm going to show you and kind of play around with them and see how they work for you. The next one is InShot. This is basically for adding pop art and text to images and videos, as well as editing and formatting dimensions of videos and images. So if you have a video that is landscape or is it landscape? Vertical? No. If you have a video that's either, well, I guess horizontal or vertical, and you want it to be in a square format, you can basically import the video to InShot and then put two banners or one banner or whatever space in a banner that you want to take up to make it into a square, and you can make it like a meme style video or meme style image, and it converts it into a square format so you can use that in other things, which is really cool. Great for making quick ads on the go. And then we have Perfect Video, which is literally for complete editing on the go. So literally anything that you really want to do with video, you can do it with Perfect Video. And the next one is iMovie, or programs that are like iMovie, and that's for complete high-powered editing. So that's on your computer, and you literally can do pretty much everything. Render high resolution videos, and you can do crazy stuff, more than Perfect Video, obviously. So when it comes to image ads, you still somewhat follow the shock factor, hook emotionally, and prove logically type structure, except you can typically exchange the prove logically part with imply huge benefit. And that's a hard way of saying with image ads, you don't really have the capability of selling someone like you would in a video because they're just looking at an image. Therefore, the job of the image ad is only to move someone off of the ad platform and to your sales page or offer page or what have you. And the way that we do this is by pushing a benefit that is irresistible. So along with the benefit of your offer, you also need to shock people into seeing it and try to hook them emotionally in some way. And here's an example of an ad that I might run if I were to do some type of passive income offer or something like that. So you'll see in the copy it's about a passive income offer. Here's the ad. Now let's break this down quickly. This first little thing that you notice is that there's a small amount of text and there's a benefit-driven headline. So the top 5 passive income hacks. That's some type of benefit. It's a hack, which means kind of like a quick solution to get your passive income, and there's 5 of them. So it's a quick benefit headline to get people to kind of understand, okay, yeah, I'm going to get like this guy's top 5 passive income hacks. Now the next thing, I like to put some type of directional shape or gesture as well as a shocking color. So you'll notice that the red will pop out on someone's timeline quite a bit. And then the last little bit here is basically just a captivating image of, lifestyle of some sort. It's meant to basically hook people in emotionally, and it doesn't have to be something like this. It could be a car, it could be a mansion, it could be something to kind of get people to see the lifestyle, right? It's basically just something to hook people in emotionally. And I also want you to notice that it's in a square format. Using a square format or vertical rectangular format is great because it takes up more screen real estate. And the banner of color can be moved around to test different areas as well. And as well as the image type can also be changed and moved around and just tested to see where's the best place to put it. Now the image itself can also be much different if you have already curated a relationship with the audience. But this example is assuming that you haven't created any relationship with your audience. Like for me, if you've seen a video for me and all of this stuff and I have branded rapport with you, I would probably just do better with putting my face in this as opposed to a picture of some random girl or some random dude with a Ferrari. Putting my face in it next to something, if I have really good branded rapport with you, is very effective. But this is assuming that you don't have any branded rapport with your audience. So images also have a few tools that are needed in order to pump out quick, good looking ads for testing. So here are the tools that I use to achieve this. One, I use canva.com. I use the paid version, but you don't have to have the paid version at all. This is basically an all-around graphic generator where you can add graphics, images, shapes, etc. to any design with helpful preloaded dimensions. So it has literally, you can literally just load something that's the exact dimension of a video, or the exact dimension of an Instagram post, or even a Snapchat filter. So it's really, really cool. I would definitely check out Canva. You can use the free version if you want. Then the next one is pixabay.com, and this is completely free. This is for sourcing royalty-free images and videos for your advertising convenience, and it's really, really cool. You can literally just type anything in, and it'll give you like drawings, vector images, professionally taken photos, pretty much anything. Even GIFs, I think, are on there. So it's really, really useful. Definitely check out Pixabay. And then InShot, once again, for adding pop art and text to images and videos, as well as editing the format and dimensions of videos and images. You already heard me say that before. It's a mouthful, but InShot is probably one of the most highly used apps that I have on my phone, so definitely check out InShot. Check out all of those apps. It'll definitely help you out. Now, to wrap it up, I'm going to basically quickly just show you how I made the ad in the example so you can use the same type of process. So let me go over to my browser and I'll show you exactly how I used Canva to create that. Alright, so here we are inside of Canva, and this is the ad that I showed you in the slides over there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete this whole thing, and I'm going to start from scratch on how to create this. So let me just kind of burn this into my memory, and then I'm just going to delete this, and I'm going to literally start where we started when it first opened. So it first opens on a white box basically, and what I did is I went to social media right here. It's literally the first thing that pops up when you log into your Canva, and you just click on that and it opens this box right here. So the first thing that I did is I wanted to have a shocking color, so I went down to background here and I changed the background to the red color, which is a really great color. Then I searched up Pixabay, right? As you can see, I use Pixabay a lot. It just pops right up. And I think I did like lifestyle, something really stupid and like very broad. I just put lifestyle in there, and I think it was one of the first ones. Say this is the image and I grabbed it. You basically just click on this and you do free download, and you can download it. You just have to create an account. Basically what I did is I downloaded that image and then I dragged it into here. So I'm just going to drag the image here, and then I sized it how I wanted. All right, so there's that. Then the next thing that I did is I wanted to create that kind of like arrow shape thing. So what I did is I went to elements and then shapes, and I grabbed something like, it's like kind of like an arrow. Where is it now? Come on, bro. Okay, let's just say that it was this triangle here. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn it like that. I'm going to make sure that it's aligned properly. All right, perfect. That looks good to me. So then all I did was I kind of put this little thing here, and I changed the color to red. And I know that's not the exact shape, but for some reason it's not loading here, and that kind of pissed me off. So that's basically what you do. You just kind of overlay some shape, make it the same color as the background, and that's how you kind of make that banner look. And then all I did at this point was I grabbed my text, I grabbed a headline, and I just typed in top 5 passive income hacks, and that's pretty much it. Like, it's literally that simple to make an ad and get it ready for testing. And the thing is that you wouldn't just stop at making one of these ads. You would make multiple. So like, say I wanted to also test like green, right? What I would do is I would just make it green, test green, right? You can change the color. I don't know why it changed to black. Let's see what white looks like. And you can just keep testing different colors, or you can test different images. I actually grabbed another image to test as well, but you know, this is just like some guy with a Ferrari. Who even knows what his name is, but he's Ferrari man. And basically you can just keep testing stuff like that. Make multiple different images and then test them. You never really want to just try and stick with one. I would be a liar if I told you that like one thing is going to work for you. This is basically just a guideline for you to stick by at first while you start testing, start figuring out what works for you. It's not by any means like a silver lining where it works perfectly every single time. It's definitely not that. It's definitely something that you have to test over and over again, just like any other type of advertising. So use this guideline, use this kind of move things around, see if it might be better to have the image at, the banner at the bottom, right? Image at the top, banner at the bottom, or see if it might work out doing like a vertical style image or something like that. Looking at my original one, this is literally something that, even though it looks good, I'm definitely not going to become romantic with it, and you shouldn't ever become romantic with any one ad. It basically is just going to make your job a lot worse if you create an ad that's good looking. And in fact, I'm going to show you what my Canva looks like. Like, I literally have so many images. Like, so many images. A lot of these are ads, like ad. This probably wouldn't have worked. I didn't even do this, but this could have worked, and it could have been terrible. You never really know what's going to happen. So literally just continuously make ads. I made this ad, this ad, this ad for client. This was one for a client. This was one for a client. Same client. All the hair ones, that was for the same client. That was for the same client. Then I did like a cafe. That was for a client. So yeah, same client. And so you test like a whole bunch of different ads at one time. You never really just stick with one. That's basically my main moral. So I'm going to get back to the slides right now and continue on with the actual presentation. All right, so in the next video, now that you know how to do the basics of the ad platform and you know how to create, ad creative, we're going to actually set up an ad step by step and exactly how I do it for myself and my clients. So don't miss out on that, because there's going to be a lot to learn and a lot to add to your own ad creative process. It's basically going to be a really, really cool experience if you haven't actually seen someone who's more of an expert go through the Facebook advertising platform and actually finish an ad from A to Z. But if you're more of an expert yourself, there's definitely be some things that you can add to your process and make it even better. So that's pretty much it for this video. This was Taylor at Marketers Guild, and I hope to see you in the next video of Facebook Launchpad. Have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.